Yes, I have been around a bit. I could never hold a job for long. But I'm very pleased to be here. I'm very pleased to be among those to welcome Ismail. We worked together at the World Bank. He was the chairman of the CGIAR and revitalized it at a time when it was really needed leadership. My career has been in agriculture to all intents and purposes, but when I retired from the bank, I also got interested in demography and ended up as the chairman of the Population Reference Bureau. So being interested in both agriculture and population growth, it was natural that I should be interested in Malthus, who of course was the man who wrote a great deal about population growth and the difficulty of feeding the increasing population. You know, Malthus wrote in his principles that population increased geometrically while food production increased arithmetically, and consequently there was bound to be a growing gap between the two, and this could only lead to disaster and chaos. Well, it didn't work out that way. But this was the Malthus doctrine, that there would always be, or that there would inevitably be a time when population growth would outstrip food production, and this in turn would lead to terrible things. However, one of the reasons why this didn't happen, especially in the tropics, was because of the creation of the Consultative Group for International Agricultural Research and the work of a good colleague, Norman Borlaug. Borlaug won the Nobel Prize for the work he did in introducing new varieties. He won the Nobel Prize for Peace, which was quite remarkable, being a rather humble forester from the Middle West. But he, with the backing of the Rockefeller Foundation initially, was invited to Mexico to help the Mexicans overcome a serious problem they had in food production, especially wheat, a disease problem and other issues. And he brought a team with him, and they worked incredibly hard to establish a research program which dealt with the particular issues at that time. And out of this grew the notion that agricultural research, something that Borlaug pushed pretty hard, or as he called it, the application of knowledge to agriculture, was a very important component in future growth in agriculture. And this has proved to be the case. In fact, I would say that the subsequent growth of the agricultural research system had a great deal to do with the slowing down or the abandonment of the Malthusian doctrine through the increases in yields that came out based on the research initiated by Borlaug and his colleagues. There was a way in which to increase food production substantially. And for a while, quite a while, we were quite complacent about it. And of course, my good colleague Ismail here was the chairman of the CGIAR, which was managed by the World Bank. And he was one of those who alerted us to the fact that things weren't going quite the way they should, and played a leading role in reorganizing the CGIAR. But I would just like to finish by to say one thing. I've been somewhat bothered by, if that's the right term, by what I think has been an air of complacency about agricultural production and food production and keeping pace with population growth. Because in my lifetime, and I'm much older than all of you, the world's population has grown from less than 2 billion to now close to 7 billion. And that's in my lifetime. And what's it going to grow to in your lifetimes? And what about increasing food production to meet the requirements of the large increase in population, especially in aging population? And that is why when I retired from the bank and stepped down from the Population Reference Bureau, I thought it'd be a good idea to start a series of lectures that could alert us, whether lecture in one way or one form or another, could alert us to the importance of paying attention, continuing attention to this issue. And in paying continuing attention to this issue, I would hope that we would be able to keep pressure up to maintain this consultative group on international agricultural research and the excellent work that they're doing in laying a foundation for new growth in agriculture. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much.